Clan, and welcome to the Inquisitors Party members, where we discuss each individual party member from Dragon Age Inquisition, and of course the advisors. Today, we're going to be dealing with our sweet horned beauty of the Inquisition. We're discussing the Iron Bull and its chargers ever so slightly. So, let's start, shall we? Horns up! Okay, right. It's flat out of the way that Iron Bull is a lot of people's favourite characters. Favourite character, basically. A lot of people love him. A lot of people would say that he is the best character in Dragon Age Inquisition. And I actually can't debate that. I actually really like the Iron Bull. Pretty much off the bat, actually. He's kind of one of those characters that you will instantly either like or hate. It all depends on your personality type. And this is in no small part to how he's written, but also a credit to Freddie Prinze Jr., the voice actor for Iron Bull. I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not the biggest Freddie Prinze Jr. fan. I didn't like James Vega in Mass Effect. I understand that he's the kind of character you either love him or you'll hate him. And I don't hate him. I'm sorry to admit it, I don't hate him, but he's not my favourite character. I've also never been a fan of Freddie Prinze Jr. overall. I do like some films he's been in. I do like the Scooby-Doo film. I do like Wing Commander, even though I know it's a horrible adaptation. But I do... he's a decent actor, but in my opinion, Iron Bull, he does such an exceptional job voicing that I also think this is probably his best role to date, in my opinion. So I give all the credit to Freddie Prinze Jr. He did an exceptional job, and I actually want to see him voice more characters now. I think this is definitely his breakout role for voice acting, in my opinion. I think he has done some other work beforehand, but I think this is the role that, if you weren't familiar with Freddie Prinze Jr. in the voice acting world, you will be now. I do want to see him in more BioWare stuff, and also possibly more stuff. And of course, I want to see him do Iron Bull again. He also is a very charismatic guy from his Twitter feed, the videos I've seen him in. He is very charismatic, so I give him all the credit. And he's also one of the luckiest bastards in this planet because he's married to Sarah Michelle Gellar, who played Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You jammy bastard. I had to get that out there, sorry. So let's dive into the Bull, of course. Now, really, I can't really talk about the Iron Bull without talking about his Qun name, Hassad, and of course the Qun in general. Now, the Qunari and the Qun in the Dragon Age world is very interesting. Some people have called them the Vulcans of the Dragon Age universe, and I wouldn't call them that. I'd more call them the Klingons, if you wanted the way. But they're also, I think they're a combination of the Klingons and the Vulcan, because they really aren't a warfaring race. They just fundamentally believe that the Qun is what is best for the world. Everyone gets an assigned job. It's very much a communist kind of mentality, is that you're born, you get an assigned job, you do it. It's sort of like an extreme form of communism, because there are no parents, there's no lovers, there's no... You do it, you get a job, you fucking do it. There's no ifs, buts, or what's about it. You don't do your job, you get killed. Or possibly even mind-fucked in a way with the... Kunlak, I think it is. I'm not 100% sure what the substance is called, but yeah, the Qun is a fascinating thing in my opinion. Probably one of the more fascinating things about Dragon Age, in my opinion, in its mentality. And the Iron Bull, or Hassad as he's known in the Qun, is kind of a great example of someone who was raised in the Qunari, but eventually changed over time, because the Iron Bull believes in the Qunari. He actually does believe in the Qun. He believes that it is a good thing, but he also... that's what he was raised to believe. He's been raised to be sort of like an infiltrator, an analyst. He is very intelligent. You can tell he sort of like, in my opinion, he's kind of like Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock Holmes. He can analyze someone's appearance and tell you almost the whole life story, and I love that about him. But he is also, as I say, he's a great example of the Qun and also the different mentalities of it. Now, we do learn a lot more from the Qunari, from Iron Bull, than we have previously in the other games. We learned a lot from Sten, and we learned quite a bit from, of course, Dragon Age 2. But Iron Bull's a great inner workings of it. He'll explain the Qun to you in a nutshell. I also like the fact that the first time we actually meet him, he's flat out brutally honest to you. He's like, yeah, I'm a spy. I'm going to be telling the Qunari everything about you. because that's my order. I've been ordered to do that. And I was like, whoa, what? Holy crap. So yeah, he's flat out honest, and I do like that about him. But he is also a good example of basically how someone can change. Because when you talk to him much more in depth and all that, he talks about how he actually likes the life outside the Qun a little bit more. And it's kind of confusing to him, you can tell in a little bit. I'm kind of going all over the place, I do apologise for that. I'll try and keep it a bit more straightforward. But I do want to talk about that aspect of him. I do want to talk about that as probably the more interesting aspect to him, is the fact that he talks about how after an event in Sahan, that he believed he was broken. He actually wanted to be basically mind altered by the Ben Hasrath, I believe it is, if memory serves me, with the substance they used to make people docile, because he believed he was broken when he started to feel these weird things about the world. But the Qun used him, sent him out to be like a spy, a Ben Hasrath spy, basically. And I like the fact that that was probably their biggest mistake. Because basically, Iron Bull he still believes in the Qun. He believes it's the right thing, but he also believes that the world is much more different than he's led it on to be. He actually starts to embrace the world around him. He starts to embrace mentalities from outside the Qun. He starts to actually care about people. And in my opinion, that is no more personified in his companion quest when... Like, in all honesty, if he was pure Qunari, his companion quest wouldn't have been an option. Because you get the option, spoiler alert of course, to either sacrifice the Chargers, his soldiers, his men, to guarantee an alliance with the Qunari, but it will come at a price of all of their lives being lost. Or, you can say, fuck that, send your men, Bull, call the retreat, and sacrifice your alliance with the Qunari, which could possibly be a death sentence, and also cost Iron Bull any chance of returning home. Which, in my opinion, the Qunari is not his home anymore. The Qun is no longer his home. And in my opinion, I can never tell Bull to sacrifice his Chargers, because the way you talk to him about his Chargers and his men, about Crane, Skinner, Dalish, I can't remember all the names off the top of my head, I do apologise, but I think I actually have a list here. Let me actually make sure I don't forget any of them. Yeah, I've got it here. Crane, Skinner, Rocky, Stitches, Grim, Dalish. The way he talks about them, you can tell that he does not just care about them as his men, they're his family. You can tell that, and the thing about the Chargers is they accept anyone who can fight. It's such a mishmash of different cultures, personalities, lifestyles. You can tell that he does deeply care about his men. He's very much the general of his men, in the best possible way. Under his command, he simply has the rules as you fight, you drink, you shag, as long as you fight. As long as you fight under his command, respect him, and do what you need to do for your role, he gives two shits about where you came from. I love that about him. I absolutely love that, and that's how much you can tell he cares about his men. And that's why I personally can never tell him to sacrifice his men, because I've seen the scene in which happens that if the Chargers do die, he actually collects their ashes and scatters them in Skyhold. It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. Even though he accepts it as the Qun accepts it, you can tell that he wishes there was another way. He is heartbroken. He's like, oh, I can't believe it. My men are dead. And it's his fault in a way, he believes. But even the scene in which if you choose to save the Chargers and you sacrifice your thing with the Qunari, your alliance with the Qunari, he flat out is furious. He's pissed. He gets an attempted assassination which he foils like that. But you can tell he's angry. He's like, I'm the Talva fucking Shoth. He's not Talva Shoth. He's the Iron Bull. And I always say that, no matter what. Because I don't care who's Qunari. I don't care he was a Ben Hathra spy. All I care about is that he's under my command and he's my brother. And I feel so much better when I tell him, you're the Iron Bull. You've got your chargers. You're with the Inquisition. We're your family now. And we'll make sure you're safe. And we will kick the Qunari's ass whether they come for you or not. And I will. I'm saying, I know, the Qunari can come after the Inquisition if they want. I will stand by the Iron Bull. He fought for me and he is willing to die for me. And I'm willing to do the same. I love that about Iron Bull. That is why I love Iron Bull, just for that fact that he is the general which everyone should be. He respects his men, he knows everything about them, but he's not afraid to be a bit of a hard ass sometimes, and I like that about him. But the Chargers are just such an important part to his character that I just felt that deserved a merit of discussion. I also love one other factor about him, that he is very charismatic, he is very caring, he is very intelligent. He's definitely someone who understands that the Qunari may not be him. The Qun he believes in, but it might not be 100% right. And I absolutely love that about him. I really, really do. Especially when you drink with him after you kill your first dragon with him. I absolutely love that scene when you're just guzzling down that probably 98% proof booze with him. It's just an absolute gem of a conversation. You'll be like, yeah! Oh, I absolutely love that. He's charismatic. He's also very observant. I love that of him. I absolutely adore the Iron Bull for that pact. I do apologise. I keep glancing over to my notes. I'm just making sure I'm covering everything right now. And I just love that. You can tell that he still regrets, my bull still regrets the fact that he had to abandon the philosophy that he had for his entire life, but he accepts it. And that's something that I think is a good lesson for people, is that sometimes you'll have to give up something that you may have been raised your entire life to believe in, but sometimes it's for the better and you just have to accept that. And I do like that, but I do like that's a little lesson that I think he teaches. Now, of course, I can't really talk about Iron Bull without talking about his romance option, which is available basically for everyone. It's one of the only two romances that basically aren't race-gated or gender-gated. You can romance Josephine and Iron Bull no matter what race or gender you are. And I like that. For Josephine, it makes a bit of sense, but I think for Iron Bull, it makes a lot of sense why he is the way he is. When you talk to him about sex and flirt with them, he describes in great detail. He says sex is a release, sex is enjoyable, so why not fucking do it? He's very much the mindset. He doesn't believe. I think he believes in a sort of way of casual sex, but he won't do it with just anyone. He will do it with people who he finds attractive, and he's a sucker for redheads. Which I'm going to say this right now. I don't bloody blame him, because redheads. I love redheads. I'm sorry. That's one thing we have in common. So yeah, also the fact that he does state the Qunari don't have redheads. Redheads. I love that about him. So he does approach sex a little bit casually, but at the same time it's still very important to him that it's with decent people. He won't just sleep with anyone. He does it for release. And he does talk about very, what's the word, alternate methods of pleasure. And I'm pretty sure his romance doesn't just include banging. I'm going to say that right now, because he gives you a safe word. And you don't give someone a safe word for no reason. I'm sorry, I love the conversation your romance option can have with them about everyone else's safe word. I just find that hilarious. Well voice acted for that, Freddie Prinze. Well voice acted. So yeah, I do like his romance. I also like how it develops. It starts off as a kind of casual romance, but then you build up. Same with most of the romances. A lot of the romances do start off kind of casual, except for Cassandra's. Her romance is, if you want a romancer, you have to go all the way. Sarah's romance you can do casually, and then you eventually evolve into further romance. Same with Iron Bull, is that you can have casual sex with him, but you eventually evolve into something more than romance. And I do like that about Bull's romances. You have to kind of work at it with him. Even if you do get to bang him, you do have to work a little bit at his romance. And I do like the fact that as the romance goes on, he gives you the name Kadan, which means a lot to him if someone understands Qunari. I do really, really like that about him, and I like that about his romances, that it does feel very deep, it does feel very actual romantic romance, and I do like that. Also, he has the best final romance scene probably in the entire game, which I absolutely adore. I'm not gonna, when you give him the dragon's tooth, basically. I fucking love that scene, and I'm gonna spoil it for anyone here. I fucking adore this scene where basically you're just up in the room above the bar, basically. And basically one of the spare rooms in the tower, basically. And I absolutely love... I don't know if I'll show it, I'll have a little think about it, but I absolutely love it, the fact that you're there, he's just lying on the bed, like that. Oh, thank you, Kadan. And I just love that Josephine walks in, Cullen walks in, Cassandra walks in, and Josephine's line's probably my favourite. She's just like, I can't move my legs. I absolutely love that scene. It's very hilarious, but also very, very romantic, and I do like that in a way when you confess your love to the bull. So I love the Iron Bull. He's definitely probably one of my favourites. Such a well-developed character. Such a brilliant romance as well. Not my personal pick for a romance, as is. I can't think any of my Inquisitors romancing Bull. Not against romancing them. Excuse me. Just I can't see any of my characters romancing them personally. That's just the way my characters work, sadly. But I do like his romance. I love his voice. Freddie Prinze Jr. well done on that account. And I do really, really like him. I really like the Bull. He's very well done, very well written. Probably one of the more well-developed characters in the Dragon Age Inquisition game, in my opinion. And yeah, I think that's where I'll wrap things up there. Let me know what you thought of the Bull. Give me your reasons why you love or hate the Bull, or you're indifferent. So that's the Iron Bull. Definitely one of my favourite characters. I absolutely adore him, and definitely almost in my party 60% of the time. I do like to mix and match. So, now that we've done the Iron Bull, time to muddle up and find out who we're going to be doing next. We're actually getting kind of low on the cards now. We're coming towards the final bout. We've only got a few more. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. Oh, who's going to be next? Are we going to have Cullen? Are we going to have Liliana? Are we going to have Vivienne, Cole, Varric? Let's see who we're going to be doing next time. Who are we going to be doing next time, people? We're going to be doing... Oh. We're going to be doing... the Ice Queen. Vivienne. Wow. That should be an interesting one to talk about. Now, before we end this video... For the Bull's Chargers! Sing along with me, people. No man can beat the Chargers, cause what and where it hurts. Unless you know a tavern with cards and lists of scuts. For every bloody battlefield we'll gladly raise a glass. No matter what tomorrow holds, our horns are pointed up. I fucked up the low end there, but thanks for watching. Ciao for now. Raise your horns!